Our story starts and holy shit is already on fire. This is how we starting? We got this little girl losing her mother in the debris and gets engulfed in flames. Yeah, GG's. Then we follow an office worker named Satoru Mikami, who is 37 and bitchless. Damn, Unk is down terrible. He meets up with some co-workers and suddenly a random nigga is running with a knife trying to stab Buddy, and being the hero he is, Satoru is killed after being stabbed while monologuing in his head, gaining skills. He requests his friend to destroy the contents on his computer.
I can't believe I'm gonna kick the bucket as a girlfriendless virgin. In my next life, I'm gonna go on the prowl. I'll hunt down all the ladies.
Acquisition of unique skill. Predator. Successful.
That's a crazy skill to get. He awakens in a cave in an unfamiliar fantasy world to discover that he has been reincarnated as a slime, possessing various skills formed from his final thoughts before death. It also includes an AI helper called the Great Sage residing in his mind. While exploring the cave, gaining new skills along the way, with the aid of Great Sage, the slime comes across and befriends an ancient dragon named Veldora, who was sealed in a cave centuries ago. Meanwhile, Satoru's friend keeps his promise by destroying his computer. W-Mans. Later on, the slime, who is given the new name of Rimuru Tempest, helps Veldora, who is also given the surname Tempest, to find a way to break his seal by using his predator skill to swallow him inside his body and analyze it from both sides. Veldora's disappearance causes unrest in the outside world. After gaining more skills from swallowing other creatures, Rimuru finds his way out the cave after 3 human adventurers who were sent to search for Veldora's whereabouts opens the entrance.
He called that skill stealth arts. Imagine the peeping you could do! What a disgraceful perv that I absolutely want to make friends with later!
Bro needs to lock in. Rimuru then leaves and encounters a group of goblins who ask for his help in protecting them against a group of dire wolves since Veldora isn't around anymore. Rimuru agrees to help and becomes the leader and guardian of the goblins. Working together with the goblins, Rimuru heals the wounded and battles against the dire wolves. He traps and kills their leader with his skills, forcing them to surrender. Convincing the goblins and direwolves to live together in harmony, Rimuru gives them all names, but then passes out for 3 days due to exhausting his magic. When he wakes up, he discovers the names he had given to the goblins and direwolves had caused them all to evolve into hobgoblins and tempest wolves. The son of the direwolves' deceased leader swears allegiance to him. Rimuru then tells everyone the 3 rules of the village.
First, no attacking humans. Second, no fighting amongst yourselves. Third, no belittling other races.
He then gives them all jobs. Realizing that the goblins have no skills to craft houses and clothes, Rimuru and a small group set off to the town of Dwargon to seek help from dwarf artisans. Arriving at Dwargon with Gobta the Goblin, Rimuru ends up getting in a fight with some thugs. Look at this nigga head, bro. Rimuru transforms into a wolf and the thugs and their companions try to attack. They ain't do shit, and Rimuru uses his menace skill, which causes the sage to say,
Menace attack damage report. 16 people fled. 68 became confused. 92 fainted.
This nigga is trash!
All that ends up getting him and Gobta thrown in jail. Rimuru gives a healing potion to the guards and is eventually set free for saving them and is introduced to Kaijin, the blacksmith. Using the magi steel ore he had gathered in the caves, Rimuru helps Kaijin to fulfill an order of longswords in exchange for his help in providing artisans for the goblins' village. The dwarves throw a party to celebrate at an elf bar, and Rimuru was in heaven. Ooh-wee. Then, someone approaches. A fine shit fortune teller elf decides to predict Rimuru's soulmate, showing him a vision of a girl parting ways with her family. When Vesta, the minister who ordered the swords, arrives and insults Rimuru due to his disgust for monsters, he pours his drink on Rimuru, which soon causes Kaijin to punch him, straight up knocking his ass out. But it results in both him, Rimuru, and the other dwarves getting arrested and put on trial. During the trial, the hero Gazel Dwargo, who has a history with Kaijin and whose voice is deeper than mine.
It's been a while, Kaijin. Have you been well?
God damn, nigga. He exiles Kaijin and his men, who join Rimuru as his team of artisans. After also exiling Vesta for his dishonest actions, Gazel, noticing Rimuru's connections with Veldora, dispatches a ninja to follow him. When Aaron, Kaval, and Guido, the group of adventurers that Rimuru saw earlier, have discovered Veldora's disappearance from the cave, they are ordered by their guild master to investigate the forest. A masked girl named Shizu asks to join them. Weeks have passed since Rimuru has been back to the village, and 500 more goblins have joined. Gobta was also able to summon his own wolf. When the group of adventurers run into trouble, Shizu was showing off her skill, taking down the monsters. And one of them almost kill her until they are rescued by Rimuru, who recognizes Shizu from the elf's vision. Later on, Shizu reveals she was summoned to this world from Japan during the war. Oh my lord, she was the little girl from the beginning. Rimuru shares some of his memories of a modern, peaceful Japan. Once Rimuru leaves, we see that Shizu's summoner, the Demon King, Leon Cromwell, has made her the vessel of the fire spirit Ifrit. What is this, Final Fantasy? Shizu recalls the anguish she felt when Ifrit inside her killed her friend after considering her an enemy. Just as Shizu prepares to leave with the adventurers, Ifrit once again takes control of her and unleashes his flames upon the village. That's when they realize she's the Conqueror of Flames, a hero from 50 years ago. With his water attacks proving ineffective, Rimuru sees Erin's ice attacks working and copies her ice magic spell to take care of Ifrit's minions. While the adventurers put up a shield, Ifrit said fuck that shit and fried they ass. It was time for the 1v1. Ifrit summoned clones, but they was just for the fashion. Then Ifrit hits him with the flare circle. That's when Rimuru finds out he's immune to fire attacks. He then grabs and uses his predator ability to swallow Ifrit, separating him from Shizu, in the process entrapping him inside of his stomach along with Veldora. He wanted all the smoke too. Shizu tells Rimuru about someone known as the hero who took her in and showed her the right path before mysteriously disappearing one day. Then she says she was a teacher. Makes sense from the vision we saw. She even says one of her students is now a Grand Master. Sensing her life is coming to an end, Shizu, not wishing her body to remain in this world, asks Rimuru to eat her. After accepting her request of finding Leon, he does, which gives him the ability to take a human form that resembles a younger version of Shizu. He then informs the others of Shizu's death. The three say their farewells through Rimuru's human form and receive new weapons and armor from the dwarves before leaving. As Rimuru decides to seek out information on Leon in order to convey Shizu's final words to him, a masked man named Gelmud recruits an orc that he names Geld, with the intention of bringing forth a great orc disaster in the forest. As Rimuru familiarizes himself with the form and abilities he inherited from Shizu and Ifrit, he discovers that he don't got no dick or pussy. That nigga genderless. Later on, the goblins come under attack by a group of ogres, who claim Rimuru has been manipulating orcs to attack their village. Rimuru was able to handle 3 of them, but the Unk Ogre knew all the skills he used, and got through Rimuru's barrier to slice his arm off. Too bad they didn't know he a slime, cause he put that shit back on and fire ain't do shit to him. He then shows them Black Flame to have them surrender. The remaining 2 refuse, but with some help of the Ogre Princess, they decide that he is not their enemy and invites them to the Goblin Village to talk things over.
So hey, what's your name?
Oh, I'm afraid we do not possess names.
Of course. I forgot that's a thing around here. That's right. That's right.
Learning that the orcs who attacked the Ogre Village were being led by a masked Majin, Rimuru proposes that the ogres join him as his subordinates. Agreeing to a temporary alliance until the orcs are defeated, Rimuru names the ogres, then passed out. They evolved into Kijins, and their names are Benimaru, Shuna, Shion, Hakuro, Soe, and Kurobe.
There's a hot guy, a cute girl, a babe, the dignified elder, hot guy number 2. I'm actually glad the last one is so boringly normal.
Meanwhile, the chieftain of the Lizardmen, sensing an orc lord is controlling 200,000 orcs heading their way, sends his son Gabaru to enlist help from goblins. While Hakuro trains some of the goblins, Benimaru tells Rimuru about orc lords and the masked Majin who came to their village. His name was Gelmud. It has been a few days since Benimaru and other Kijins joined Rimuru. Shuna and Shion particularly was all over Rimuru.
You know, Shion, you could always leave Lord Rimuru here with me for a bit.
Oh, Princess, we don't want to get in your way. After all, you still have lots of clothes to make.
It's only a hunch, but I think there's some tension here. No worries. Believe it or not, I'm actually very good at multitasking.
We wouldn't want him to miss out on lunch, though.
That's wild. We also find out about Shion's cooking. This shit is ass.
Not hungry, yeah, right! Those cowards knew Shion was a terrible cook and left me to die!
Lord Rimuru, aren't you going to eat?
Look at me, you jerk! Look me in the eyes before I die! And the old man is just casually hiding his presents! That's weird.
Gabaru has recruited 7,000 goblins already and arrives at Rimuru's village to try and get everyone to serve under him to fight the orcs. Gobta is sent in to duel against Gabaru, and Bro said say less, defeating him quickly with the skills he's learned and forced the lizardmen to retreat. Later, Rimuru is approached by a dryad named Trainee, who is fine, good lord. She asks him to defeat the Orc Lord. Trainee explains that the Orc Lord has used a unique skill called Starved on the orcs, causing them to constantly crave sustenance, go berserk, and even eat their own to gain more power. We also learn that there is a Majin who is a subordinate under the Demon Lord. Accepting Trainee's request, Rimuru sends Soe to negotiate with the Lizardmen for an alliance. When Soe arrives to request an alliance, the chieftain agrees once he can meet Rimuru in person. Soe says it would take 7 days for them to come. So for 7 days, he urges his soldiers not to engage in battle with the orcs until Rimuru's group arrives. Gabiru arrives 4 days later, and swayed by words of Gelmud's messenger, Laplace usurps the chieftain's position. So like the dumbass he is, he leads the lizardmen into a direct attack on the orcs, unaware of the Orc Lord's true power. Rimuru brings Benimaru, Shion, Hakuro, Soe, Ranga, and some goblin riders. They come across and save Gabiru's sister, who informs them of Gabiru's coup d'etat, and asks them to rescue the chieftain and save the lizardmen. They agree and form their alliance. Meanwhile, Gabiru and his troop find themselves cornered after the orcs eat one of the soldiers and gain their powers. As Trainee discovers Gelmud and Laplace and forces them to leave the forest with the help of a light spirit, Gabiru struggles against the orc general, but is rescued by the arrival of Rimuru's group. The gang easily defeats the general and most of the orc army, while Soe rescues the chieftain. Afterwards, Rimuru goes to confront Geld, the Orc Lord.
Orc Lord, I'm going to end you.
Gelmud suddenly appears, revealing he created the Orc Lord in order to turn him into a new Demon Lord. He then attacks the Lizardmen and tries to kill Gabiru, but Rimuru blocks it. He then traps him and starts beating his ass. Gelmud is then killed and devoured by Geld, who evolves into the Demon Lord Orc Disaster. Kijins try to handle him, but it wasn't enough to defeat him. Even Ranga's attack didn't work. Realizing Geld's power, Rimuru has Great Sage take control of his body in order to fight against him. But after Geld develops fire resistance, Rimuru resumes control and engages in battle with Geld to see who can consume the other first. Learning that Geld was on a search to end the famine afflicting his people before he was manipulated by Gelmud, Rimuru devours his sins along with his body. Afterward, as the orcs are freed from Starve's defects, the Kijin decide to continue serving under Rimuru.
And I am your secretary and bodyguard, remember? So it looks like you're stuck with me.
Rimuru forms the Jura Forest Alliance to allow the lizardmen, goblins, and orcs to live together in harmony, which causes him to end up being the Alliance's chancellor. Rimuru bestows the name of Geld onto the Orc Lord's son, evolving him into the Orc King and the other orcs into High Orcs. Then he gives the lizardmen chieftain the name Abiru. Later, Gabiru is charged with treason and is exiled from the lizardmen and embarks on a journey. Laplace informs his boss, Clayman, the mastermind behind the orc army, of the Orc Lord's defeat, leading Clayman to grow curious about Rimuru. 3 months later, the town was almost finished when Dwarf King Gazel arrives. Gazel learns of Rimuru's actions and the Orc Lord's defeat. He and his army travel to the Goblin Village to challenge Rimuru to a duel and determine his true nature.
If you can defend against my entire chain of attacks, I'll declare you the winner. However, I should warn you that in addition to being a king, I am also a master swordsman.
The duel starts and Rimuru was on the offensive, until Gazel hits him with a familiar stance and attack. He's able to block it to win the duel. They both soon learn that they share the same swordmaster, which ends up being Hakuro. Gazel accepts he is not evil and offers a treaty between their groups. The Jura Tempest Federation is formed and recognized as an official nation. 2 days after forming an alliance with Rimuru, Gazel visits again, bringing Vesta, who apologizes to Rimuru and Kaijin for the trouble he caused in the past and begins to work for them as a researcher. Gabiru and his sister, along with several other lizardmen, also become Rimuru's servants, evolving into Dragonutes after Rimuru names them. This causes them to grow wings, while the females are given a more human-like appearance. Sometime later, 4 demon lords, Malim Nava, Clayman, Frey, and Carrion, learn about Rimuru and the Orc Lord's defeat. Malim takes an interest in Rimuru, and since Veldora is gone to no longer stop them, they said fuck it. She wasted no time pulling up to see him in person.
I'm the one and only Dragonoid known as the Destroyer. People call me the Demon Lord, Malim Nava. See, my draconic Malim eye can detect the level of magicules in whoever it sees.
Once I heard that, all I heard was,
with my Jagan eye, I can see nearly anything from afar, control the fires of hell, as well as read and control the minds of weak-willed creatures like you.
Also, why she only gotta wear panties? Fearing for their master's safety, Ranga and the Kijins appear to defend Rimuru, but can do little against her overwhelming power. Rimuru takes over and runs the wands and calms Malim down by putting some honey into her mouth, and the two become friends. That should sound crazy as hell, I know. With Maleem deciding to live in the village with them, everyone was hyped. Despite being relieved that she will not attack them anymore, Rimuru's council gets concerned with Maleem and Rimuru's new friendship, as the other demon lords can view it as a threat to their own balance of power.
But thankfully, we can just leave everything up to Lord Rimuru, seeing as he and Lady Maleem are besties for resties.
That's true.
You jerks!
All right, let's move out. I can't wait to see the slime you've told me about.
Vesta succeeds in developing a full potion to equal Rimuru's potions, prompting Rimuru to attempt negotiations to develop low potions in the city. Just then, Phobio, Beastkeeper of the Demon Lord Carrion, comes to Tempest with the intent of taking it over, decking Rigurd in the face, but is promptly dealt with by Maleem before Rimuru resolves things peacefully.
You'll regret making a fool out of me.
Rimuru then offers Maleem a new weapon in exchange for information. Later, the Border Survey Corps, led by a man named Yoam, joined Aaron's party, where Gobta came to help. They come to Tempest, where Rimuru asks them to take credit for defeating the Orc Lord.
I've decided. I think I'll trust you. From now on, I'll call you Master Rimuru. I'm yours to command.
Awesome! You won't regret it. And that's how Yom and his companions began training under Hakurel in order to start their new lives as champions.
Meanwhile, Clayman takes an interest in the powerful beast, Charybdis, and sends Tyr, the Harlequin, one of his allies, to investigate. While Phobio is mad as fuck over his humiliation at Maleem's hands, Tyr and Footman, two of Clayman's Harlequins, approach and convinces him to become a demon lord himself, so he can get revenge on Maleem. All he must do is let Charybdis possess his body and maintain control. This dumbass nigga Phobio really fell for this shit and breaks the seal on Charybdis. Tyr reveals she was under orders to revive Charybdis and send it Maleem's way. Trainee's little sister, Trya, warns Rimuru of the revival of Charybdis. Born from a cloud of Eldor's magicules, Charybdis is the mindless ruler of the skies, focused only on destruction. It has summoned 13 megalodons from the spirit world to aid in its rampage and is heading to Jura. Rimuru and the Dorgon Empire prepare for battle. Assisted by 100 Pegasus Knights from Dorgon, Rimuru's forces are able to destroy the megalodons and attempt to destroy Charybdis with a full-scale attack, but they fail, getting hit by scales. Rimuru steps in to battle Charybdis himself, and after a couple of hours of nothing working, he soon discovers it is possessing Phobio, and his true target is Maleem, who was kept out of the battle. By Rimuru's request, Maleem defeats Charybdis, while sparing Phobio's life. After the battle, Phobio apologizes for all the trouble he caused. Rimuru and the others finally discover that all the troubles they had faced recently were caused by Clayman's Harlequin gang, the moderate Harlequin Alliance. Then Demon Lord Carrion pulls up, knocks the shit out of Phobio, and establishes a non-aggression pact with Rimuru's nation before leaving. The city celebrates its victory with a filet megalodon. Is that the Salt Bay meme? Maleem later leaves to tell off other demon lords. That night, Rimuru has a dream about Shizu's regret over not being able to help her students. 5 children brought into this world. Rimuru goes to the kingdom of Ingracia with Ranga to see them. There he meets Yuki Kagurazaka, the Grand Master in charge of the children, a teenager himself. Once he saw Shizu's mask, it was on sight until Rimuru explained everything. Yuki arranges for Rimuru to teach Shizu's students, but warns him that while the two of them are otherworlders who came here, the children are summons, meant to be weapons for the summoner. They have so much energy in their young bodies that it will kill them within 5 years. Rimuru vows to honor Shizu's wish and find a way to save them. He meets the kids, and their names is
Kenya Misaki, age 10. Ryota Sekiguchi, age 10. Gail Gibson, age 11. Alice Rondo, age 9. Chloe Aubert, age 10. That was a weird feeling. Was it Veldora?
Shizu's students don't show Rimuru much respect, so he decides to show them the difference in their skills in a series of duels against him. Kenya uses fire magic, Chloe uses water magic, Gail fires magic bullets, Ryota uses body enhancements, and Alice uses puppetry to control toys to attack him. They lose and accept him as their teacher. Rimuru visits Trainee, believing the children will survive if inhabited by superior spirits, since Shizu was summoned as a child but lived to adulthood, possibly because of Ifrit. Trainee directs him to the dwelling of spirits, but with the Queen of Spirits the Dryads once served, dead, they have lost their link to it and no longer know the entrance. While on a picnic with the students, they see a sky dragon head into the capital, and Rimuru interferes and eats it with his gluttony skill. Mjolnir, a merchant who Rimuru saved, invites them to dinner. Mjolnir knows who Rimuru is and invites him to come to Tempest to help them sell their wares. He agrees. Mjolnir's assistant asks the Queen of Spirits to protect the children after dinner. She tells Rimuru she came from a village near the Dwelling of Spirits. He, Ranga, and the children head to its location. They all enter the Dwelling of Spirits, and a spirit in the opening labyrinth battles them with a giant metal golem to test them. Rimuru dodges its attack and traps it with his thread, then incinerates it. The labyrinth spirit introduces herself as Ramaris, one of the 10 demon lords. Though she's so small, no one believes her. She explains that Leon, who summoned Shizu, used to be a hero before he fell from grace and became a demon lord. She also used to be the Queen of Spirits before dying and returned as a demon lord. In exchange for creating a new golem for her, Ramaris agrees to aid Rimuru in summoning superior spirits. A plethora of inferior spirits answer the prayers of Gale, Alice, and Ryota, so Rimuru devours them and turns them into 3 new superior spirits, successfully inhabit the 3. Kenya summons and is inhabited by a superior spirit of light. When an unknown spirit-like being appears, Veldora reacts to its presence. Despite Ramaris' attempt to stop it, as she feels it is dangerous, it still possesses Chloe. Regardless, the dangerous energy in the 5 children has calmed, so they will not die in a few years. Rimuru makes a new golem for Ramaris, and they return to Ingracia. Yuki finds it unlikely the nations that abandoned the children will try to take them back, so they should be able to live normal lives. Rimuru doesn't tell Yuki how he saved them though. Rimuru thinks about the past 2 years he's been reincarnated, and declares all their problems have been solved. Then we see a mysterious god looking at Rimuru through an orb. He gives Chloe Shizu's magicule suppressing mask before leaving, but isn't certain why, simply feeling it was for the best. Unknown to him, while going back home, a shady woman is spying on him. And that is the end. So for now, I'm out.